And just like that, the NBA season has come to a close. Probably the most dramatic and craziest closing we've ever seen with that Clippers and Warriors game. I mean, Steph Curry got put onto a poster. Kawhi Leonard missed a shot that sent it into overtime. Then James Harden started cooking. Then Draymond tried foul baiting on a shot that would tie the game. And then Buddy Hield chokes the game winner. I mean, things were crazy, okay? But that's not what this video is about. And actually, this video isn't even about the playoffs. I know a lot of the YouTubers that you guys might be watching or see on your recommended page are going to be on here making their predictions for the postseason, right? Or the Lakers going to beat the Timberwolves, or, you know, the Pacers and Bucks rematch, whatever. Don't get ahead of yourself. I haven't even thought about the playoffs yet because we're not there. We have more work to do, right? So instead of going over the big, you know, glamorous playoff matchups of the Nuggets and Clippers, or, you know, the Pistons going to MSG, I'm here in the bunkers. I'm here in the dirt, in the mud, to talk about the NBA play-in tournament. Yes, the tournament that has been a little bit controversial in recent times. I don't know if maybe I'm just like too deep into the NBA community, but I've seen a lot of people say that they don't want the play-in tournament, or they think that there should be certain rules where, you know, this team has to be within a certain amount of wins as this team for the play-in tournament to be triggered. Things are crazy. I personally think that the play-in tournament is great. I think the format is amazing, and it's giving us the excitement and thrill to start the playoffs. But I understand if a Warriors fan is a little upset that their team has gone 48-34 and they maybe somehow end up losing to the 39-43 Dallas Mavericks, who got a majority of those wins with Luka Doncic, who now plays for an entirely different franchise. That being said, we are here to go over my predictions because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an NBA expert. If you don't know the channel already, okay, my predictions are always correct, and simply this is just kind of me putting you guys on game, me telling you who's gonna win because I already know. But before we get into that, I do want to make a pretty big announcement, with that being me going live on Twitch. Yes, I'm going to be doing a live watch party for damn near all of these games. I don't know about the playoffs yet, but I will be doing all of the play-in tournament. I will be live streaming it live on Twitch. So if you're watching this, it might be the day before the first play-in tournament on Tuesday, I believe, or it might be the first day or after. I don't know. Point is, if you haven't already, go check out my Twitch because I'm most likely going live there and watching these games with you guys in chat, having a great time. Seriously, thank you to anyone who goes over there and shows support to me. That being said, let's go ahead and get into my predictions. Let's start out in the Western Conference. We have the Sacramento Kings versus the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Kings and Mavericks have already played each other 3 times this season. I'm pretty sure the Kings are undefeated. They won every single matchup, and I did look at each game. They did not play the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic this year. In their first matchup, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving were sitting out. By the time their second matchup came around, Luka Doncic was already in LA. Kyrie Irving got his terrible injury, and then their third matchup, obviously, they didn't have either one. So for the most part, obviously, sorry, the Mavericks didn't have Anthony Davis on either one of those games either. So if you were to look at their season record, right, their season matchup history, you would say to yourself, okay, the Kings are going to win this one. They've already won 3 of the games. They've had a close game, so they're battle tested, whatever you may think. I don't know if the Kings can take this one. I don't know if it's just me being a doomer, like me doubting my team and saying, oh, they're not going to win, whatever. But when I look at the Mavericks, and if I look at them having a healthy Anthony Davis, who has shown just recently how damn good he is, and that he is still capable of putting up numbers. The injury has no effect on him right now. That mixed with the 3-point shooting of a PJ Washington and a Spencer Dinwiddie, and knowing how bad the Kings are at defending the 3, while also being terrible at defending the paint, and they have Anthony Davis, I don't think it's going to look too good, okay? I don't think it's going to look too good. But at the same time, you do have the offensive firepower of, you know, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. The Kings don't have Malik Monk, and as much as I want to say that's a bad thing, I honestly feel like the Kings have been a little bit better when they don't have Malik Monk, with Keon Ellis really stepping into that role that he should have been this entire time. I'm going to go ahead and push the Kings forward. I'm going to have them as the winner of the 9 and 10 seed matchup. I'm sorry, Dallas Mavericks fans, but I'm sure you guys would want to be eliminated in the first place. Like, I don't think you guys would want to contend for anything right now, so maybe you guys are happy. Moving forward, we have the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. This game is going to be a ton of fun, not just because of like the talent that's there, obviously, with like John Morant, Steph Curry, whatever, but these two teams have history. And it's not even just like the playoffs when they were doing the whoop that trick or whatever it is. We're talking a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, when John Morant did the You know, did that thing to Buddy Hield? Yeah, they've had some shit going on recently, so things are going to be really intense. Things are going to be a lot of fun. This game is going to be an instant classic, although I do have the Golden State Warriors taking this one pretty easily. I feel like they're going to be going into this game with just a different mentality, and I hate to use that as like a talking point for a basketball game, saying like, oh, they're going to be in the better mental state. But after a loss like that to the LA Clippers, right, a game that would have, erased this entire play-in tournament bullshit and would have gotten them to the 6th seed right away, for them to lose that game and the way that they lost it, I feel like just mentally they are going to go into this game as a different beast. They want this shit to be over with. They're an older team. They want to get a little bit of rest, and so if they win this game and they match up against the Rockets, who, by the way, I'm sure they would really like to go up against the Rockets over the OKC Thunder, they are going to want to take this one. And also, Steph Curry is like that kind of guy. He's that guy that has the mental ability to say, I am going to fucking win this game. But obviously, that's nothing against the Grizzlies. So I have the Golden State Warriors advancing to the 7th seed. The Kings will be matched up against the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in tournament, and to be honest, that's where I have the Memphis Grizzlies just curb stomping the shit out of the Kings. Jaren Jackson Jr. has always owned Sabonis. Ja Morant on the interior is going to be unstoppable. The defense that the Grizzlies have, I just overall feel like as a matchup, the Kings don't really have what it takes, and they kind of have that same situation with the Dallas Mavericks, where if you look at their season series, the Kings are 2-for-1 in the season series, but all of those games they didn't have Ja Morant. Ja Morant was not in any of those, and a majority of those games where the Kings did win, it was Malik Monk who was the offensive firepower, right? Going up against like a Desmond Bane 44-point game. I also just don't think the Kings have like the mental ability to win this game. I know it sounds so stupid. I really do hate saying that for a basketball game or like a reason as to why a team is going to lose, but the Kings are like that. They will go into this game and not play with the hustle or effort that they need, because do they really want to go into the playoffs against the OKC Thunder? Do they really think that they can win that game? I don't think so. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is my Western Conference standings, okay? It's pretty basic, I know. It's just the Warriors and Grizzlies making it through, but that's who I have winning. Okay, moving over to the Eastern Conference. The 9th-seeded Chicago Bulls versus the 10-seed Miami Heat. Am I crazy for thinking that it is easier for a player like Tyler Hero or, Kel'el Ware or Bam Adebayo to drop an absolute heater than it is the, Bulls to have a good game from Josh Giddey or Kobe White to have a crazy game? I mean, I know we've seen these two teams in the play-in tournament like 3 times in a row, but the Miami Heat, they just have that vibe. Something about Tyler Hero. I'm calling it right now. It's my psychic powers. Tyler Hero is going to have an insane game. Tyler Hero is going to go fucking insane. Davion Mitchell's going to put up some great numbers as well. I have the Miami Heat taking this game, and that's the crazy part. I don't even have to explain it, right? Because I could tell just in my head the Miami Heat are going to win this game. The more serious matchup, we have the Orlando Magic versus the Miami Hawks. In a more serious matchup, we have the Orlando Magic going up against the Atlanta Hawks. I already know who I'm taking for this game, and I feel like I'm in the minority. I feel like I said my answer once, and everybody was like, dude, what are you talking about? There is no way they can win that game. And to me personally, the winner I chose was the Atlanta Hawks. Now, obviously, both of these teams are great at defense. I mean, the Orlando Magic, I'm pretty sure, are 2nd in the entire league in defensive rating, whereas the Atlanta Hawks are a little bit worse. They're like very middle of the pack, but I don't think that means the Atlanta Hawks are like completely garbage on defense, right? I don't think they're non-existent on that end of the floor compared to a team like the Sacramento Kings. So what I do really value in this matchup is a lot of the offensive side of the ball, where I feel like the Atlanta Hawks truly outshine the Orlando Magic. Obviously, this game is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It might even be a little bit boring to some people who are watching, but to me, I have the Atlanta Hawks going through and taking this one, which would put them up against the 2nd-seeded Boston Celtics. And you know what? You never know. Atlanta Hawks, you might be able to pull it off. Which then brings me to my last prediction, the Orlando Magic versus the Miami Heat. I actually hate how boring this prediction is going to sound, but I mean, there's no way the Orlando Magic don't win this game. I hate that I chose only 7 and 8 seeds to advance, considering the title of this video is something like these games could be historic, or there's something crazy about these games. Like, to be honest, there is, like, it could happen. right? The Sacramento Kings could shock the world. The Dallas Mavericks and Anthony Davis could stun the league. And for all we know, Davion Mitchell might drop back-to-back 50-point games and just absolutely surprise everybody. Like, we don't know. But in my opinion, for my prediction, these are the standings that I have, okay? This is the West. This is the East. I think this is what the playoffs are going to look like. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the playoffs on a later date, okay? I want to really dive through and look at the film and look at the stats and look at the numbers and the players on these matchups and not just do kind of like a blind, fun little prediction like I did with this video. So that being said, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to subscribe, but don't like this video. Instead of you liking the video, I would appreciate it if you went over and followed me on Twitch. Once again, we're going to be doing a live watch party, a live stream watch party for the play-in tournament. We're going to be watching these games with you guys in chat. I can't wait to be live and interacting with you guys. So yeah, I'd love to see you guys over there. But as of right now, it's, been a crazy NBA regular season. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the videos. The channel has grown a ton over the regular season. You already know the grind never stops, but I do just want to say thank you guys so much, the YouTube viewers, for sticking in and watching these videos. It's seriously my favorite content to put out, so thank you, thank you, thank you. That being said, I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.